From Tobacco Republic in Loomis, California, the Loomis Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Scott Robinson with you for another edition of Beyond the Humidor into 2022. So welcome to the show. As usual, I've got Greg and Larry with me. How you guys doing?
Fabulous.
Fat, dumb, and happy.
That's always good. Good. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. We'll talk about modern pharmacology later.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
You know how this goes. Okay, well, maybe we'll talk about it now just by their tone. Yeah, so, Christmas went off without a hitch for me. A few days later, I'm in surgery. This was planned, nothing life-threatening. How do I describe this? Help me out here.
Hindectomy? Did you get those implants? You look like Beyonce now?
Oh, that's fucked up.
Stand up for us, Mr. Robinson. No,
that or got to get rid of the frog ass that old men get,
Yeah, apparently I got an unwilling butt cheek lift.
just on one side, so it looks like he's winking at you. It's awesome. Like, hey, don't look at me in that tone of voice.
Yes, the jokes just write themselves. Anyway, I
would have been better if you were sitting on a donut.
The donut doesn't help. That's the problem. Sue and I thought, oh yeah, she got me a donut for Christmas. The donut doesn't help because it's on the cheek, so it's kind of like it doesn't, it does nothing. It's just like it's got to sit on a soft surface. So, this surface here, it's not the most pleasant thing in the world, but hence we have modern pharmacology and alcohol. Speaking of which, so great surgeons over at Kaiser Folsom outpatient surgery. Good people. Surgery went off without a hitch. And of course, if you got a half competent surgeon, you get some good pain meds. Mine is no exception. I got Oxy, just 5 milligram.
Yeah, how is that?
I tried to avoid taking that like the plague for obvious reasons. But, once the pain gets really bad, you're just like, fuck it, So I tossed, one pill, like usually in the evenings when I go to bed.
You stir it into the scotch, or how do you do that?
No, just straight, just like a normal person. I'm not a crazy person. I didn't mix my alcohol and Oxy. This is just straight Oxy. Some of the nightmares, I don't know if you call them nightmares, but I was tripping balls, man. I mean, it's like, I sent something over to you guys. There were 3 dreams specifically.
Oh, do you want me to get out my notes, or do you
I remember them.
Okay,
I remember them well. I'm glad I wrote them down, though, because I would have forgotten them. One of them was my old alma mater, UC Santa Barbara. I had this dream. I was on one side of Santa Barbara. And if you know UCSB, I'm over on the dorm side, kind of by the marine biology, Santa Cruz dorms, which are 1 story. I'm hopping on a bike, and as I ride this bike going towards Stork Plaza, I hear this rustling following me and shit. I've got a pack of bears chasing me. Mind you, this is UC Santa Barbara that's on the beach. So 1, how the fuck did bears get to Santa Barbara?
I can't.
Pack of bears chasing the circus bear on the bicycle. No, please, continue.
There's just nothing to continue. It's one of those.
The joke writes itself. Unfortunately, I don't want to get fired.
No. But the fact of the matter is, it's just like, have you ever had those fucked up dreams where they're, I wouldn't say terrifying, they're disturbing, but then you're confused in the middle of your terror? You're like, wait a minute, there's not bears in Santa Barbara. I mean, a land shark maybe, but bear? No.
This is the part of the dream that concerned you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Then the second one. Now, you guys knew this was coming, and it's coming. Tiny Wife has decided that the Class C that we have, well, we both kind of decided this, so I'm not going to put it all on her.
No.
We need something.
Sue, he put it all on you in here.
Whoa.
Wow, dime me out, snitch. Anyway.
I don't have to dime you out. Your wife knows better.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've decided that we want to get a Class A. So what the hell are you coughing for? It ain't that funny yet.
Inhale, brother. Inhale.
That was the problem.
Yep.
You sure you just smoking a cigar over there? You're in California, don't worry.
Little gummy sitting on top of the cigar. Bears waving. Seems to be a bear theme. Continue on with your Class C experience, my friend.
So part of my rehab is to go walking around. Got to walk around a lot. So we went to a couple of RV parks and we've been looking at Class A's.
850,000, folks.
That ain't happening. No. But anyway, I got this dream that we decide we need a Class A, but we need to get a really good Class A, like an $850,000 Class A. So we became televangelists. Can you see Sue and I as televangelists?
I can't see your wife, but you, yes. You have the enthusiasm to pass that off.
I can't see both of you in the same frame unless it's way back. But
You mean that giraffe meme that you sent me?
Sorry, guys, you'll never see that.
No, I do not mean that. But it's kind of funny.
You realize Sue's going to ask you now.
Oh, I'll send it to her.
To the podcast.
I'm sure my wife will sell me out.
Oh yeah,
She doesn't have the giraffe meme, but it's gonna be one of those.
You need to ask Larry about the giraffe thing he has on his phone.
Like, what the? Your Honor, I would prefer she not testify.
sad.
So okay, so
we've got those two.
yeah, third one's a charm. Here we go.
Third one. Now, I work for a well-known telecom. So in my third dream, I dreamt that I got fired. But this is why I got fired. For stealing HBO. My company gives me fucking HBO for free. Like I said, all through the dream is one of those disconcerting. I just got fired from my job after 29 years of faithful service. But then the perplexing part is, I got fired for stealing HBO? How do I steal something that you gave me? I mean, I sat through 3/4 of the dream going, I don't understand.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those were the three, ones that I remember. I mean, every time I take that shit at night, it's like I get some kind of jacked up dream of some sort.
Well, there went our YouTube audience. They're tuning over to Downton Abbey or something else right now.
No, only you're tuning into Downton Abbey.
I finished that series.
Why am I not surprised? Larry, you want to field that one?
No, man, just shoot me. Jesus. Christ, much like everything else British, just shoot it.
America indeed.
What a country. We picked a manufacturer for Cigar of the Month.
Yes, we did.
Indeed, we
Good
did.
segue.
And Scott, you want to start us off with what you got going on there?
Well, this week my plan was to go through some of the Camacho. Camacho is our cigar of the month. I wanted to go through all of them. Unfortunately, through
There's
my
like 12?
rehab, yeah, there's 12 of them, so that wasn't going to happen. I started out with the Connecticut. Now, for me, it's not a bad cigar. It's just not in my wheelhouse, only because there wasn't a lot of flavor to it. It was just real underwhelming for me. So I started doing a little bit of research on Camacho, and one of the things they did, particularly the Corojo, it's Cuban seed that's been transported over to Honduras in this microclimate in the, I can't remember the valley. I think it's the Jamastran Valley in Honduras, and that's where they grow the Cuban seed. During the revolution back in the 50s when Castro took it over, a certain family, basically took all the seed they could carry and get it out of Cuba. Waited 40 years to find a perfect climate in order to grow it, and you have the Camacho Corojo. And I did this just straight off from the show. I didn't have an opportunity to we like to kind of pre-smoke things before the show to get some notes, some personal notes down.
Uh-huh.
And I've never given Camacho much of a concern or a look. This is like my first Camacho experience. I've got to say that this is a good cigar.
Well, and see, it's a pity that you've not given them a look because their line is very nice. I do tend to agree with you on the Connecticut. It's a little underwhelming. Mm-hmm. For a light one, that Criollo is way better.
Okay.
But one that you might want to try out, because unlike the two of us, you have a clean palate in regards, is try that Triple Maduro.
Make sure you eat something.
Yeah. But try that Triple Maduro.
Yeah, see, I try to stay away from the triple Maduros and like really heavy Maduro ones just because I don't want to get choked out.
Well, and this is why he's suggesting that. Mm-hmm. Camacho's triple Maduro is different. You're still going to get a lot of complexity with it. It's a powerful cigar, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you're going to get
It's not like we're giving you an LFDL Jocko to screw with you.
Gotcha.
If in the right setting, like after a meal, you're wanting to come down and relax, I think that that'd be worth a try. Mm-hmm. I've been a fan of Camachos for a long time.
And this I know because I remember when we went to the first Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival and you came across that deal for all those Camachos. You jumped right on it.
Yeah, it was at closeout in 2019. They didn't want to take anything home with them, mm-hmm. and they made me a ridiculous offer, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. But yeah, Camachos, I can usually find something in Camacho's line, whatever I'm feeling. The lighter side of Camacho, I would rather go somewhere, pick something else if I was in the mood for Connecticut. Mm-hmm. But they have some really interesting stuff that's worth a try. I have the barrel-aged Connecticut right here.
Okay.
Really different flavor. It's mostly U.S. broadleaf, so that you're getting a little bit lighter flavor than some cigars, but it is barrel aged, so there's a little bit of sweetness, almost a little bit of vanilla to it, and it's still in the 50 ring gauge range. It's a little harder to draw than some of the other bigger ring gauge Camachos, but all in all, this has been a really good cigar. I pre-smoked one of these a couple nights ago and was real happy with it, and so far on this one today, just a really good flavor. We had a good breakfast this morning, so that's following it up pretty well.
Yeah.
What'd you end up with there, Gregory?
Well, as followers of our Facebook page will know, I spent the last 2 days doing a little research, smoking a couple of different Camachos, so I have some varied opinions. But I did smoke last night. I smoked that one, that Corojo. And actually, I was going to smoke that today too, but all of us smoking a different one's a better way to go. But that particular one, it's a really good Corojo as far as I'm concerned because its flavor's really nice. I want to get complexity. Maybe we discuss that a little bit later after you've gotten more through it.
Yeah.
So I don't change your opinion based on what mine is.
Okay.
But today, for this show, I'm smoking the Camacho Ecuador, which is, for me, it's a little bit different. Back, remember, what was it, about 4 or 5 years ago, we had Camacho in and they brought their brand ambassador. Mm-hmm. And this one was new at that point. And, the brand ambassadors walking around at that time, you could give away cigars. And he's like, what can I get for you, mild, medium, or full? And I'm like, well, let me have a medium. And he pulls this Ecuadorian out. And I'm like, okay, this is unusual. He goes, no, it's not going to be weird. It's an Ecuadorian Habano on the wrapper. So it's sweet. It's a little bit of creamy. And it still has the complexity and the note changes that we would expect out of a Habano.
But it has more of the darker flavor of a darker cigar.
It does, especially because when you consider its binder is a Brazilian wrapper. And if you've ever smoked a CAO Brasilia, it's a very dark, very deep flavor profile that it's not strong or harsh. It's just a really nice, deep, like really good, strong coffee sort of flavor profile to it.
Are you getting a sweetness off of it?
A little bit.
Okay.
Which I would expect with Habano.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that sweetness doesn't tend to go away, where on some of them it'll be sweeter at the start as opposed to the midway point or the end of the cigar. What I've noticed on that one is that kind of plays out through the whole cigar.
It does. And
Jesus,
You all right
don't
there, man?
don't breathe in, or don't try and talk when you blow out. You were talking about how you weren't really thrilled with their Connecticut, which I tend to agree with you on that one. It's a little bit bland and a little bit one note. That's why I think I prefer the Criollo, because it's got a little bit better flavor profile than the other one. In fact, I think I have that. Yes, I do. So the Criollo flavor profile, the wrapper is obviously a Criollo wrapper, which is a very creamy, very light wrapper. The binder, this is where it gets interesting. The binder and the filler. The binder leaf is Corojo, warm, rich notes like you're getting off of yours, which gets the complexity. And then the filler is, of course, Dominican and Honduran. So I think that combination lends itself more to what you'd be looking for in a light cigar, because you've got several flavor tones instead of just one.
I can see that.
Back in defense of Camacho's lighter cigars for a second, I use those as a really good starting point for somebody that's just getting into cigars.
True.
Because there's no complexity for them to worry about. They don't have to try to sit there with a cigar and figure out what it is they're smoking. You're smoking a very light tobacco. Concentrate on the procedure as opposed to the cigar. And if somebody is new to this and wants to come in here and sit down with us or wants to hang out somewhere and smoke a cigar, I will usually steer them towards a lighter Camacho, because I know they can spend the time with the cigar, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying.
And it's not something that's gonna hit them hard when they're a novice. It's really light. It's not gonna give them a headache, give them oh my God, what am I doing? And it just gives people time, I think, to figure out if messing around with this is something they want to do.
Yeah.
I can see that.
We're Scotty, how's that going with the Macallan so far?
Oh, everything goes well with Macallan. Who am I
Yeah.
kidding? I can't say, oh, well, this really isn't compatible with the scotch that I'm drinking. Yeah, you'll never hear me say that.
Life's not compatible with the scotch we're drinking some points.
Speak for yourself.
So how's everybody's 2022 started out? I mean, I didn't jump right into this. I've been kind of poking it with a stick from a distance, because I wasn't sure if we had a platypus or a dragon. You know what I mean?
Well, you two know what happened. It's been shitty for me in the beginning, so.
Yeah, sorry to hear, brother.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, I had to put my 10-year-old lab down, so it was a little rough start to the week, but such is life.
Well, you know how mine has been. It's been
Yeah.
pretty much
Dope,
drug-induced.
drug-induced and lack of cigars for a week. How'd that go, by the way?
Oh, it fucking sucked.
Yeah, his first day back in here is like, come on, man, just let me have a hit. Just come on.
Because I went full on general anesthesia, thank God. When I was on the gurney getting ready to go into surgery, my anesthesiologist comes in and says, actually what we can do is give you a nerve block. You'll be awake for it. You just won't feel anything from the waist down. I was like, I want to know nothing. I want to know nothing about this surgery. Put me out, completely out. So, the whole process, if you've ever been through general anesthesia where, they give you the drugs, you fall asleep, then they shove a tube down your throat so you don't go into respiratory arrest from the drugs they're giving you. And, of course, you wake up, you get this lapse of time. But the recovery after anesthesia, part of it is your diaphragm is killing you because you've got, I don't know if it's an air pocket or whatever it is, for the first 2 or 3 days, it's just your chest is hurting. Or I should say chest, your diaphragm. If your chest is hurting, that's a problem. But your diaphragm is just in pain, and it's like every time you cough, it hurts. Not fun. So it's kind of like, as much as I wanted a cigar, I was just kind of like, no. And of course, the warden was not allowing it. And it was cold outside, so it wasn't I could sneak out.
Why you got to talk about your father like that?
Ooh.
I'm sure Pops was like, "Hey, come on, man, come here, come here.
I'll solve this problem for you, brother.
Got it. Sit down right here. We're gonna
Sure.
we're gonna light one up. Hey, Pop, that's not a cigar.
Anyway,
Moving
right
on.
along.
yeah. So it was like, even if I wanted to, a cigar would not have been fun or a good idea. Just from the chest hurting, my throat hurts. It's just like, ugh.
Well, actually, that recording, we were supposed to record the 3 days after, 4 days or so after your surgery, and we're like, yeah, no,
was not happening. I couldn't even sit down.
Well, it could have happened. You could have laid on the couch here, and Larry and I would have sat there.
Yeah, pan the camera over. And Scotty, how you doing? I'm fine. Patting him on the head like Greg's lab. How you doing, buddy? Want to roll over? No, you're good? All right. You stay right there. Oh.
One of life's great indignities.
So we're going to talk a little football.
Oh, shit.
So now bear with us here, folks, because we understand that this recording comes out after the Chargers-Raider game tomorrow. Scott,
wait a minute. The Charger Raider game's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
So it'll come
This
out
episode comes out tomorrow morning at 9.
Oh, well, my bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Never mind. So we have a Raiders fan in Scott, and also in our camera monkey, which is what you two, and also our studio audience.
God, Larry, we're surrounded by criminals.
Yeah. Man, I just saved us from being completely canceled. Man. Oh. All right, hold on. Let me get my bearings. Okay. So, God, I can't believe I saved that. And I'm a Chargers fan, so there's been some back and forth.
Sorry to hear.
Yeah, it's a cross I have to bear. So there's been some back and forth between Scott and I as far as the Chargers-Raiders game this week. But you guys heard that the NFL is looking at moving the Super Bowl, correct?
Yes, I did.
No.
Oh, yeah. They extended the mask mandate here in the communist state of California where we live for another month, which puts that into Super Bowl. And the NFL is concerned that there could be a possibility of the state of California saying no fans in the stands for the Super Bowl, which is scheduled to be in L.A.
Yeah,
on the 13th.
That's right. It's SoFi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now they've some member of the Dallas Cowboys organization announced that the Super Bowl at the NFL had talked to Dallas about moving it down there. Then apparently, I heard on Sportscast yesterday that apparently there's always 3 or 4 backup situations in place in case of natural disaster, weather phenomenon, something.
Weather phenomenon. They hold freaking games in Green Bay.
Well, what can I say? Speaking of which, you see that Green Bay game? 11 degrees at game time.
I don't watch football.
And they pan through the stands. They pan through the stands, and there's 50-year-old dudes in no shirt,
But that's Green Bay, though.
Oh, you got to be a special kind of crazy.
You got to give love to Green Bay.
No, I'm not. I'm not bagging on them, man. But holy mac, it's 11 degrees. So let's
it's a dry cold.
Hold on. Let's focus on that for a second.
Okay.
11 degrees. So we get up this morning, and I bring Camera Monkey with me on my drive down here, and we are driving Camera Monkey's mother's truck because Camera Monkey's little brother has my truck. So we're coming down a road on the side road to get to the freeway from my house, and I hate driving other people's vehicles. I can't figure out why the windshield's not defrosting. Now, mind you, this is January, and we live in a colder climate. This is Northern California. It gets kind of cold. It ain't Minnesota cold or Green Bay cold, but it gets cold, right? I look, it's 37 degrees on the little Chingus on the dash of the truck. The heat defroster was on when I started the truck. I'm thinking to myself, why isn't the window defrosting? I look down at the controls, and the goddamn controls are turned to cold. It's fucking January. When did you need air conditioning on in the last 3.5 months? Why is it set to cold? Hey, goddamn, I turned that knob all the way to the right. Window defrosted like that. The hell is wrong with these people?
Yeah, that's a question for...
Let's place our bets on whether I'm going to ask her or not.
Well, a smart man won't.
If you don't, I will ask her tonight.
Oh, I'm sure you will, jackass. So, yeah, there's that. The NFL, really? We really need to move the Super Bowl at this point? I'm done. Can we move on to our next national emergency?
So let's back up for a minute.
Uh-oh.
Back to Chargers Raiders.
Oh, God.
Who you think's going to win that one?
I'm going to say this. I'm a Raider fan to the heart. Raider fan till I die. You guys have the more impressive record. I'm going to say that right now. So if we can eke out a win, that's a good thing, but I don't know.
This is an interesting year to try to determine stuff like this because we have factors going on this season and to a certain extent last season that we've never had in pro sports before.
Because you got COVID protocol?
And that's a COVID protocol.
Right.
I don't think from what I've read, either one of our teams is heavily affected this week by COVID protocol, but there's still some injury concerns that I think the Raiders are at a bigger disadvantage with what they have going on injuries than the Chargers do. The Chargers is just going to depend on who shows up to play, man. The Denver game, they looked amazing. The game before that, it was embarrassing.
As much shit as I want to talk right now, I know better.
How do you think I feel, man? I mean,
I just remember when the Raiders went to fucking Denver and disrespected. Was it Denver they went to and just disrespected their field and then just got beat? Mm-hmm. Just took a whooping.
I just had a minor crisis. Which I'm sure if anybody watching this on YouTube sees me frantically digging around to see what happened to my lighter, and I now have it tracked down. We always do at least one, if not two, test runs for the intro to make sure everything's working right and the volumes are all good. And this morning, and I don't know if any of you guys caught this, we do the test run. We got Camera Monkey over there running the thing, and I have to be careful now, or I'm supposed to be careful. I don't have to be, apparently, because I'm not. Now that we're on camera, you don't do something stupid. You're picking your nose or whatever, because we did this, for quite a while with no camera.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So we do the test run, and the music cuts off, and I look down, and I'm a pretty good-sized guy. I look down, and I have my lighter sitting on top of my gut, and I'm thinking, that's not a good look. But obviously it couldn't have bothered me too much because here I am explaining it now instead of just leaving it, Hey. So if you're new to the program, this is pretty much us.
As you're so fond of saying,
here it comes.
One of the fun things we talk about is life, and for the three of us can be interesting.
Yeah, 3X bell bottom.
That fits for pretty much all three of us.
Huh.
You don't say.
I do.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just going to put it out there.
You'll be the first one down to a 2X or a 1X, but
I will.
Oh,
the two of us ain't going to happen.
Dude, not 1X unless it's hospice.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So
something you want to tell us, Robinson?
No. I'm a little upset about something, man.
What's that?
Where the hell is your smoking jacket?
Yeah.
Let me explain.
Oh.
My ass hurts. It hurts a lot. I am doing this without drugs. Except for the scotch. Speaking of which, it's kind of low.
Yeah, speaking of which, I need to pour a little bit on my ass.
Quick, cut the camera.
No, I don't want to
Or
do
zoom
that.
in, depends on what you're into.
Oh, no. See, when they cut the cyst out, basically I've got about 2 or 3 layers of stitching on the inside and then wound glues the outer incision, which, kind of pulls apart a little bit. So pouring scotch on it would not be a pleasant experience.
It'd be okay for us.
And our OnlyFans page.
Oh, we're going to have that discussion too. Thank you for reminding me.
I figured we would.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that would be why. So now I am wearing the loan officer from the Bank of New Brighton Beach.
Oh, yeah, the jumpsuit. Yeah.
Yes.
So it was strictly a pain threshold type of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a comfort thing.
So yeah, Scott got a smoking jacket for Christmas.
Yes, I did.
And it's quite fabulous.
It's only slightly less ostentatious than Hefner's.
Oh no, it's going to be more.
Oh, it's going to be more ostentatious because we're embroidering it.
Yes.
Oh Lord, here we go.
We're
Yes,
we're
I need
getting
to get that to you.
We're getting the logos put on it, and it's gonna.
Oh yeah, it's just going to pop, man.
It's gonna scream tasteful without being gaudy,
Yep.
or gaudy without being tasteful. I'm not sure which. We'll have to see.
You
I
guys
vote
are
for the latter.
Now, you guys are going to have to hop on the train. Being that I have a smoking jacket, you gentlemen need a smoking jacket.
Oh, bitch, please. You have no idea what you've started.
Gregory, if we
Sir?
all have smoking jackets, proceed.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
No.
Oh,
The button.
Oh,
Jesus.
Masterpiece Theater presents.
Poirot.
Jackass in triplicate.
Well, that's every time we record what's your point.
Yeah, well, people should be used to it by now.
Brought to you by the H.G. Rand Corporation and viewers like you.
Wow. Send your money to the Lord. Here's our address.
Oh, the televangelist dream.
Hey, no whispering over there off camera, goddammit. Which part of should sit there and shut up was unclear to you guys.
No. You have to understand. Camera Monkey's probably explaining what's playing right now
There we go.
because our audience can't hear everything.
And actually, this is very fitting because the Cigar of the Month Camacho is
A Davidoff product.
of Davidoff de Genève.
Genève.
Davidoff of Geneva.
Geneva, that's better. I'm like,
Genève.
what? God. Like, damn Watts education.
Damn. Why didn't he just say Ebonics when he meant Ebonics? What the? Jesus.
You're fucking with our fan base, mind you. We have listeners in Compton, by the way.
Okay. As long as they don't know where my house is, we're good.
Send all complaints to Gregory Perry at
157 Riverside Avenue. Whiteysville.
801 Richards Boulevard, Sacramento.
What's that, Noel's place?
It used to be.
Which, by the way, hey, Noel, how's witness protection?
It was great till you opened your mouth.
Dude, that son of a bitch is like 9 feet tall. If whoever's looking for him hasn't found him yet, that's on them. You ain't looking very goddamn hard. A big Fred Flintstone-headed bastard. How do you not see that guy? Love you, Noel.
Yeah, at the very least, you need to get you guys Monopoly hats
Harump.
and the monocle. And get that big glass ticker tape thing that they used to have in the 20s. So you
Dude,
guys can discuss the stock market.
So,
Here it comes.
of course.
one of our fellow compatriots in here happens to be in the financial industry, and he was mentioning it would be really cool to own one of those just as
on.
nostalgia, right?
Let me just put a pause on that for a second. Just a brief pause. compatriot. Can't you just say a dude who comes in here and smokes? Why do we have to say compatriot?
So he's not a friend?
And turn that goddamn music down.
Wait, compatriot.
Whoa!
Compatriot?
You're making fun. You're making fun of the way he pronounces shit? Jesus.
Well, he does say Honduran. Krihuahua.
Wow.
That was one time.
He also thinks his dog is a Chihuahua. Anyway.
Go on.
So that ticker machine thing, whatever the hell it's called. So I got on Google to be a smart ass going, okay, let's see how much one of these costs.
Hold on. What do you think he came up with when he typed in ticker machine thing in Google?
A lot of things I didn't want to see.
Yeah, be a little more specific, dumbass.
Well, so I put in ticker tape stock market machine or something of that nature. An antique one from like the 20s and the 30s, it's going to run you about $8,000.
Well, there's an easy solution for that.
Don't buy it.
No, you're right. Don't buy it. Just get like a replica. It doesn't have to work. All you do is get like a little midget, put him in there with the little tape, and he feeds the tape
typewriter,
through.
Little typewriter going click, 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 click,
Yeah,
click, and feed the tape
or
out.
it's like the midget can just go tick, 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 and you can pull it out.
Yeah, because that's what that guy needs is a midget. Yeah, that's a hell of an idea.
Excuse me, little person.
Midgets are the group we're worried about not offending at this point, huh? Jesus. Can any midget listening please call in? I mean, let us know you're out there. What the hell? Oh, God.
Oh, I can just see the hate mail pouring in.
Yeah, but Greg's the only one who looks at the email, so it's all right.
That's true.
I check the email on occasion.
I'm not even sure what the email address is.
For you or for us?
I'm aware I have my own. Dude, my ADD is so bad, I make Scooby-Doo look like a fucking genius. And you are expecting me to manage another email address. What in the fuck is wrong with you?
Alphabetically or numerically? How much time you got?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're stacking it by height.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Like cords of wood.
No, if folks want to reach out to us, it's very simple. It's info, INFO, at LoomisCigarCartel.com.
Attaboy.
There we go.
And you know what? That man over there on my right begs you every freaking day. The least some of you could do, Tommy, you're excluded, is send us a goddamn message and let us know you're out there.
Hear that? You know, there's some of the please, because apparently Gregory's bored and needs more shit to do. So email Greg. Tell him you find his bald head attractive. Something.
That's a little weird.
Well, it depends on who's emailing you.
That's true.
Signed, your number one fan. Play Misty for me.
Oh!
Sit on Santa's lap.
Oh, he went there.
All right. Well, so much for the audience being quiet. Now,
Done that already.
Woo. All right. Time to go.
So since we're talking about interacting with our listeners, I posted a question on our group, our Facebook group at Loomis Cigar Cartel, and the response was overwhelming. 5.
Well, 5's better than nothing.
It's true. I asked the question if they wanted us to start doing some live events periodically, and 5 people.
We got 4 no's and a hell no. What did we get?
No, you got Bob was kind enough to say yes. Tommy said yes. You'll forgive me if I don't remember who the 3 other people were that said yes, but
So we got 5 yeses.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. All right.
And there you go. Well, you know, one of the things I want to talk about, because this was more towards the end of the year, and you know, of course we're into the beginning of this year, but one of the big pushes for a lot of cigar shows, a lot of cigar magazines and cigar media is Cigar of the Year. And there, you know, everyone has a big thing, and no disrespect for if you do it or not. I'm just curious about your view. I'll start with my view of the Cigar of the Year. It doesn't do a lot for me. I mean, I'm not anti if someone else does it groovy, but I don't get into the whole Cigar of the Year kind of thing.
I don't disagree with you because there has been some issues that I have with the grouping in the past. But what I more of like of it is to look at the various groups, including some friends of ours, what all their different takes, because it's typically not the same, whether
No, it
it's Cigar
absolutely
Coupe
isn't.
or how about that cigar or cigars, Cigar Aficionado or whoever. They have a different opinion and different opinions on those, and it's kind of interesting to see what each group's preference is, because that's really what it comes down to, is what their liking and their taste is. So,
See, I got a different take personally when somebody says, cigar of the year. I tend to lean more to what did I gravitate towards most last year. And at one point in my cigar career, it was real easy to point that out. It was Gurkha, because I smoked a lot of Gurkhas for a long period of time. Now, thinking back on it, looking back at 2020, quite a few Patels, quite a few Oscar products. So that's kind of more my thing for cigar of the year. It's, what did I enjoy smoking over that year period? Not what's the best cigar, because I can't tell you what the best one was.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my, I won't say issues, but one of my things where it's like I take those cigar of the year kind of things with a huge grain of salt. I like that idea of what did I smoke? Because, there's one year it's like Illusion. I mean, everyone knows.
Illusion's always been one of your favorites, though.
Yeah, I mean, Illusion all over the place. But, last year, Aladino.
Yes.
I really enjoyed a lot of Aladinos
And
last year.
if I remember right, Matt and Garrett, and they'll of course correct me if I'm wrong, because I know Garrett listens to the show. Thank you very much. I believe the Aladino Lancero, the Cameroon Lancero, was their cigar of the year, which I wholeheartedly agree with, because it's one that I have, as Larry said, gravitated toward a lot this year.
Yep. And it's, one of the things that I think has been so cool about this experience over the last, several months that we've been doing this is it forces me, at least, and I don't know if you guys will agree with this or not, to kind of think about some of the stuff I smoke, some of the stuff I've been smoking, what my palate might be, next month, next week, next year, whatever. And it's given me a little bit more focus on a recreational activity that I enjoy, and it's cool. It's been a neat ride, and that's my whole kind of take on cigar of the year, or on cigar of the month even. Yeah. Cigar of the month, we try to move it around, try different stuff.
Definitely.
Camacho was kind of my direction this month, because there's a lot of Camacho products I like. But there's also stuff, looking at our brick and mortar where we sit here and record. I've been coming in here for years and years, and there's still stuff in that humidor I haven't tried, and that's what this should be all about, is, hey, let's step outside our comfort zone a little bit. If you're not normally a Maduro guy, but you want to try a Maduro, sit down with your brick and mortar person, or sit down with some of your friends that smoke heavier cigars and try it out. That should be what the cigar of the month, cigar of the year, cigar of the whenever, cigar of right now is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
And I think, when you look at it, I think that's one of the, aside from all the fun that we have, that's one of the things for me that makes Rocky Mountain so much fun to go to, is the breadth, particularly the bag of the giveaway, the free cigars, the breadth of manufacturers that you get to sample that you may or may not necessarily know about, because maybe your brick and mortar doesn't carry them. It's a really good experience to try something new, and it gets you onto lines that you've never thought about.
Now,
like our 1502 that we've got onto.
I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, but the 80 some odd cigars that we got from Rocky Mountain, I haven't touched one of them, for the only reason is that you gave us that lovely book to record notes out of, And I'm trying to make it a point to not smoke those until I'm able to sit down and write notes on the cigars, and I have not had the opportunity to do that. So
Don't feel bad. I've gone through 8 out of that bag.
Yeah, I'm at about 6, and I have 3 of those 6 that I still need to put the notes in on.
Yeah.
I've got and a great idea on that
Thank you.
Yes.
notebook, by the way. But it's I'm with Scott's view on that. I want to make sure that I'm focusing on enjoying that cigar, especially if it's something I'm not familiar with that I've not smoked. A couple of the ones that I went ahead and pulled out and used as a morning smoke on my way to work and at work, because I smoke at the shop, in the morning before everybody gets there. I don't
Must be nice.
I don't give a shit. But I deliberately picked stuff that I was somewhat familiar with, and what I mean by that is the first one I grabbed out of the bag happened to be a Christoph, but it's a Christoph that I had never seen. It's not something that I don't know if it's a brand new. To be honest with you, that's one of the ones I have not done the notes on, but I don't know if it's a brand new release or if it's just something that our brick and mortar here at Tobacco Republic doesn't carry, which I would find odd because we have a huge Christoph selection.
Oh, yeah.
It's a white label Christoph, and it was an amazing cigar.
I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, and I'll text you guys a picture of the label too.
Sweet.
Because when I was talking to Tommy, he's gone through quite a few of the things.
He's through most of the bag. He's almost filled his journal up.
But he didn't have one of those.
Oh.
So I'm wondering now if I'll be interested to see if you guys have one, and if not, what did you have in the bag that was a Christoph? Because maybe it's something new, different that I didn't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's. I want to get a little more diligent about that, but it's, it comes down to when do you have time issue.
I completely understand that one. It's, people I've had several people go, how come you haven't gone back to recording once a week? And I'm like, 3 guys with 8-hour day jobs, and Larry's not even 8 hours. It could be 12 hours. You just don't know because his is his own business. But it gets tough to carve out some time. And I found, the 8 that I have smoked was during the fall, and it was sitting in the backyard on a video conference with George and Tommy, both of which have been on the show, and just. In one of those conferences, the 3 of us we all had the same stick in our bag.
Yeah.
So we just grabbed that one, and first 45 minutes, you can talk about anything you want as long as it's not the cigar, because nobody influences each other. Get your own opinion form first, and then after that we talked about it, and it was fun. It was an Alec Bradley. I can't pronounce the name of it because it's Japanese, but it was a delightful stick we all enjoyed. But in looking at a couple of things, last night I was sitting here after hours with Scotty Cameron, one of our buddies, and we were talking about the shows and the podcast and that, and he and I started rewatching what has become one of my favorite episodes, and he's actually going to watch the full length of it, which is when we had Graham and Catherine from Hogback. That has to be one of the highlights of our recording season last year.
Yes. Speaking of which, we've got some good stuff coming up this year as well.
Yeah. By the way, Catherine, we're out of whiskey.
We were out of whiskey like 7.5 minutes after they left.
True.
Greg, we're going to solve that problem.
Yeah.
So it'll be okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Trust me.
Hey, is it odd to you? It's odd to me that he's the one that's whining about not having any whiskey.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I like
Welcome to the dark side, jackass.
I like the whiskey that Graham and Catherine make, even if it is cast strength. It's good stuff.
Well, even if it is cast strength. Yeah. Here, pardon me while we kick you in the nuts with a cast strength whiskey. It's like, whoa. Sitting there on the couch going, there's a problem. I haven't yet determined what it is. Oh, God. Amazing product.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we've got a couple things lined up. We have a show coming up that we're going to talk about. With Super Bowl coming around, we're going to talk about snack foods, party foods. So we're all going to bring something in, and fat guys are going to eat. Guys.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
And you all get to watch. That's the best part.
And we're also bringing in a guest food taster. So
have you warned this individual?
They're familiar with our operation.
Okay, good.
It's somebody that I deal with through work, and they post some stuff on Snapchat quite often about trying different foods and different snacks, dill pickle flavored chips or whatever it happens to be. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm with that, but it's just so I'm familiar with the MO that this person has, and that that they'll fit in well with us. Let's just put it that way.
Good stuff.
So that's one of the things we got going. We're still, we've been talking forever about traveling to and doing shows from other locales as far as cigar related or
weather permitting.
Yeah, cocktail or beer related. Which, speaking of which, we need to throw a shout out.
Please, by all means.
We go now for the Northern California listeners, people in our area. If you haven't tried out Granite Rock Grill, we eat breakfast there pretty much every Saturday before the recording. So. And they do a great job. The food's amazing. The service is great. It's large portions, which are important to people my size.
Amen to that one.
But they do an awesome job. So stop by and see Granite Rock if you haven't been, or if it's been a while. It's time to go back in and grab an omelet or some French toast or something. So
oh yeah, kick-ass French toast.
Yeah, yeah. Good stuff.
I have yet to have anything I haven't liked there.
Good stuff.
Scott, round 3 on the scotch?
Yeah, it's going to be a round 3.
God bless you, sir.
So now that you're halfway through there, Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Well, go ahead, pour your scotch first. Actually, you know what, too? For those of you traveling through the Idaho region, why? But if you are, stop into Meridian. Go to the vault. Tell Josh we said hello. It's a great cigar lounge.
And we'll be paying them a visit very, very soon.
Well, if we can get over the mountain, we can.
Relatively soon. How's that?
Over the river and through the woods to the vault we go, huh?
Yes.
Isn't that cute?
Over the river, through the woods, and hope and pray there's no snow.
So this cigar right here, right now, is why I try to pre-smoke something ahead of time for Cigar of the Month. Day before yesterday, I smoked one of these, and it was a great stick, great experience. I literally took this. It was the stick next to the one that I smoked 2 days ago. This thing is drawing terrible, and I've had to relight it about 8 times. The other one, amazing.
Nope. Yeah, you didn't have any problems with that one.
So, the reason I bring that up, and I'm not trying to bag on Camacho sticks at all, because you can have a difficult experience with a cigar. I don't care whose product it is, where you are, what you're doing. You could have a problem. And this one it was tough draw. So I've been kind of rolling it the whole time, try to loosen it up a little bit. It's burning funny. But it's still got a great flavor. And I'm just having to fight it a little more.
As we've said many a times in previous episodes, it's a handmade product. Maybe the roller had a bad day when they rolled that one. It happens.
It could be operator error too. I mean, hell, we don't know, but
Hey.
Yeah.
70-30.
So back to Mr. Robinson,
Yes,
and because I notice you're a little more than halfway through that Camacho, so lend me your thoughts.
I'm liking the later burn over the initial burn. The taste, I'm having a hard time kind of pegging the taste. It's definitely a different finish to it as to at the beginning. It's a, for lack of a better word, I don't want to say weaker because you say weak, that's bad. Mellow would be a better description at the beginning. But I've noticed as the, the leaf gets warmer on the end, I'm getting a very distinct taste, and I'm trying to find the taste, but it's not bad.
No.
I actually like it. It's more of it's intriguing, but I can't place what the taste is.
Now, based on that, Greg, would you say that that's your interpretation of Camacho cigars in general, that they tend to start out a little milder, a little mellower, and intensify during the course of the stick?
I do think that's true in most cases. When you're, let's take the Corojo and not the Corojo, the Criollo and the Connecticut out of that equation.
Okay.
But if you look at, say, the Ecuador and going into the Corojo, the Triple Maduro, the barrel aged, the American barrel aged, the bourbon barrel aged, the 300 different barrel aged options you got. I believe that is the case because they start out sort of mellow and creamy, and they do intensify through the end. And if you're a person that likes that and likes 2 or 3 flavor note changes, they're ideal. I tend to probably like the two of you. I like a little complexity. I like a little bit of this isn't nice when you get through the middle of it. You have a certain amount of flavor and then a little bit of subtle change and then sometimes a strength change. And it makes for a good stick, I think, in terms of not being boring.
Yeah.
Now, we've discussed with Cuban cigars, now this is a Cuban seed. Cuban cigars are, and this is definitely not a bad thing when it comes to Cubans, they're a one-trick pony. There's no complexity at all to it, but it's Cuban, Cuban leaf, Cuban seed. So Cubans are, go ahead.
The other thing to note,
Yeah,
that is binder, wrapper, and filler all Corojo.
yeah,
So it does lend itself to being a little bit different.
yeah.
There's no Dominican or Honduran to throw any pepper or spice or
There's actually a
anything
Honduran
like
in
that.
this, I think. If I remember correctly, I believe it is a Honduran wrapper.
Nope.
No, really?
Colorado Maduro Corojo wrapper, binder, and filler.
Okay, I stand corrected in that case.
Manufacturer, Davidoff.
No, you're absolutely right.
But it lends itself, especially when you're talking about one that the binder, wrapper, and filler are all the same. It does lend itself to, I think, a more enjoyable experience, particularly if, like me, Corojo being one of my favorite wrappers.
Yeah.
That and the Cameroon, they're two of my favorite. You get a cigar with that leaf in it, that's what I prefer. So it lends itself to being one where I really like that one. In fact, you can't see it, or maybe you can. There's one sitting on top of the board here. That's my next round when this one's done.
I see.
But I like a complexity change, and it was funny because if you go back to, I'd say probably 7 or 8 years ago, when one of Rocky's rollers, now business partners, Hamlet Paredes, was here. Mm-hmm. He was rolling on the table behind where we record here, and he was explaining that you can have the same leaves, in this case what Scott's smoking, wrapper, binder, filler, all the same, but based on the orientation of the whole tobacco leaf, if you look at a leaf, the leaf shape, the stem end tends to be stronger and more powerful than the tip of the leaf. So depending on what direction they lay that when they're doing their bunching and their initial roll to get the wrapper, the filler and the binder together before they put the really pretty leaf on it, that tends to lend itself to, excuse me, starting creamy, starting smooth, and getting stronger as you go through the stick. And it's just enjoyable for me.
And it's interesting when we hear that, because I never thought of that. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. It makes 100% sense. But until somebody was explaining it as they were laying the leaves out to roll, that, you know, the picture along with the words just brought everything into focus. And it makes you, ever since that night, I think about that when I'm working on a cigar, and you get to a point in it where it's heavier or darker or stronger or whatever words you put with that. And I'm like, oh, and I think, okay, so this must mean, you know, that the filler was laid this way, and so that we're getting a heavier, darker, stronger portion of those leaves. And, you know, just more information, more knowledge kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I smoked that one last night, and knowing that, you know, preempting using, you know, we cheat, frankly. We use Cigar Scanner. If it's not on Cigar Scanner, we get online and look up the notes, so we have an idea. And when I first saw that oh, I've got wrapper, binder, filler, all my favorite leaf, I was already set to enjoy it. Predestination paradox aside, it really was a really nice cigar. The flavor profiles, the rolling, the way that the leaves were laid out and everything was set up, it was just such an enjoyable cigar. It's not like it's a powerhouse, because it's certainly not. It's not the Triple Maduro or an LFD, but it is a very nice, strong, medium to strong cigar that I think even a novice is going to enjoy, provided, unlike the three of us that can smoke on an empty stomach, provided they've eaten decently, it'll make for a good experience for them. And I think that is one that, you know, Camacho is not in my rotation as much as it should be. I think after this show and after smoking 3 or 4 of them so far in the last 4 days, it's going to have to change, because it is a nice stick.
Yeah.
Well, and you just made a statement about all 3 portions of that cigar being the same leaf. That's what I enjoy about the Triple Maduro for them. And it's a strong cigar, and it's a lot stronger than a lot of cigar smokers lean. I think that's not in a lot of people's wheelhouse, but that's one of the things I enjoy about that cigar is it's all the same Maduro leaf.
Right.
All of it. And I just make sure that I'm buckled in and prepared to smoke one of those. I've had a good meal, you know, and I'm not planning on operating heavy machinery after I'm done with that cigar. And that's just the enjoyment point for that. I know I'm going to get a quality Maduro experience out of that cigar.
Exactly. And I think that, you know, I yield particularly to you, Larry, when it comes to Maduros and really heavy stuff, because it tends not to be in my palate, but there is those occasions where, you know, first night of deer camp, for example, it's steak. Steak is always the first meal of that first night, and
that's the only meat they're going to see.
Yeah, pretty much. But I tend to find that I enjoy that really heavy, really stout Maduro after a nice meal like that, because it complements your food. And I think that's a show where we should spend some time on, obviously another show, of, you know, pairing cigars with what you've had, because, you know, Rich, who used to work here, was excellent about what was your last meal, and pairing that cigar that would go well with that, because your palate's going to retain that flavor profile for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I think Maduros are probably the toughest cigar to determine when is a good time to have one. Because it's such a strong flavor to begin with, that it does not complement well with a lot of things. And unfortunately, in the cigar industry, there are some Maduros that are not really good. I mean, I can pick out, you know, particular cigars that are not in my palate, not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And I tend to lean towards darker cigars a lot of the time, but it seems like Maduros have been the hardest thing for me to find cigars that I like consistently. There's some, and there's some really, really popular, really brand specific names out there that people will throw around. Oh my God, these are amazing. Whew. No, they are not, and that's just a personal choice. I'm not, which is the reason I'm not naming any of them. I don't want to bag on anybody's product. Once again, like Greg has said time and time again, it's a hand-rolled, handmade product, but it comes down to your personal preferences. Yes. And I will tend to lean towards, and I will tell you about the things I like, and I don't really want to, get into, like I said, naming stuff that I don't like, because I don't think that's fair to the product, but because I'm sure there's tons of people out there that do like it. But it's just, be careful with Maduros, guys, especially if that's not something you typically smoke. You got to ease your way into those, because they can jump up and make your cigar experience really less than wonderful if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that the
could
truth?
Really be a turnoff to cigar smoking?
Yeah,
for some people
it could keep you away from cigars for a while if you get a Maduro that it really affects you poorly.
Well, I remember the first time that I was given an LFD, and I'd been smoking for 2 or 3 years in here, and Rich was working one night, and he and I got into this habit on Friday nights. And then it developed into a Saturday night thing with, we all get together, go eat, come back in here and smoke till 1 or 2 in the morning on Saturday nights. But one night I had brought up, I had made homemade enchiladas at my house, and Rich was up here by himself. It was dead in the shop. And so I brought a plate up, and, he ate. He loved when I cook. Of course, most people do, much like you two.
Ding, 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 ding.
Shut up. And, well, you know him. He was fairly useless in the kitchen.
He was fairly useless all the way around.
But he goes into the humidor, excuse me, grabs 2 cigars, takes the band off of them, brings them out here. I honestly, at that point, did not know what I was smoking. He hands it to me based on its appearance, to where the cigar is literally black. It's not brown. It's not dark chocolate brown. It's black. And I'm like, dude, this is not something I can smoke. He goes, stop whining, cut it and light it, and just smoke. And he would not tell me what it was until I had got completely through one of literally the most amazing cigar experiences I have ever had, which I wouldn't have based on appearance, which is why we've said on this show many times, who cares what it looks like? Try it. And it turns out it was a DL 700 by LFD, which is a fairly, I'm sure you'll agree, stout cigar.
Oh no, it's and bless Rich for not handing that to you on an empty stomach or on a chicken sandwich lunch, because that would have put you on your ass. That's something, you definitely have to have a heavy meal in front of. And that's funny you brought that up, because God, he and I used to smoke a lot of those. And thank you. We used to smoke a lot of those on Friday evenings,
Yeah.
And geez, that's a really good heavy cigar. But yeah, you got to have a good meal in front of it, and you got to be ready to not be doing much of anything
afterwards.
Right.
And it honestly did become, and is still part of my rotation periodically, is to have one, because I enjoy it.
That's funny, because I just passed through. I got a couple of those sitting kind of off to the side in my humidor, and that I bet I haven't looked at those in a year, maybe 2 years, since I've smoked one out of my humidor. I've had one here a couple of times, but yeah, that's funny. Those are.
You get into interesting Maduros here. My brother Craig, when he first got into cigars, he didn't do it the way I did it, where it was start smoking light, then move into mediums, then move into fulls. He went freaking head first into heavy Maduros and pretty much stayed there. It just happens to be his preference. And he bought a bundle of the Rocky Patel Maduro, the Edge Maduro in double Corona.
Oof.
They got lost in his humidor. And there were like 10 or 15 of them that had probably sat in that humidor for 3-4 years before he finally got back round to them and found, hey, look at these. He and I sat and smoked them. They aged so well. The power disappeared, but the full-bodied strength of flavor never did. It was a fantastic experience. And that, too, I think lends itself to don't be afraid of it. Get in there and try it. We've all done it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about having a decent capacity humidor. I the tendency to, if I get something, oh man, these are great, I like these. You know, you get a box, you get a bundle, you get a whatever, and oh, that's what I'm smoking. Maybe not every day, but about every third cigar, I'm back to that box. And if I would just take a third of those and put them, you know, push them to the back, put them on the bottom, you know, so that you can come back to them a year, 2 years, 5 years later. That's been some of my best experiences. Back in the day, Gurkha Shaggies, smoked a lot of those. And I'm talking 10, 12 years ago. Fantastic stick. And the proprietor here, Ron, brought out, I don't know, it was probably April or May of last year. There's 5 or 6 of us sitting in here, and he comes out and he says, hey, come here. Hey, kid, come here. You know, he's got a lollipop and a 10-millimeter socket. Come here. And I go in there. He goes, you know what this is? And he hands me a Gurkha Shaggy. And I'm like, is this an older one? He's like, yes, it is. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. So this is something that he'd had sitting back there, you know, under the counter, under the table, the humidor. It could be 15 years old.
Yes, it could.
It's at least 10 minimum, at least. And it was like a religious experience, man. I sat in here and I'm like, okay, we are done for the day. We're smoking this thing. And it was great. And I get upset with myself because I don't give myself that opportunity on stuff that I like, because I'll get so wrapped up in it and go, oh yeah, I gotta smoke. So.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Good deal.
Uh-oh. You know what that sound is? Looks like my cigar is getting down to the nub and the scotch glass is empty. So, actually, I take that back. It's not quite empty yet.
Damn it, boy.
Now the scotch glass is empty, so I think it's about that time. Hey, check us out on LumaCigarCartel.com. Like and share us on Facebook. Check out the YouTube under Luma Cigar Cartel for this episode and many others. And on behalf of Greg and Larry, as always, and myself, thank you for listening. I'm Scott Robinson, and from all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, we look forward to chatting with you on the next program. Until then, stay safe and healthy, and good smoke, good drink, and good life.